You can start. Check. Hello, guys. Welcome to the third edition of our show we call Behind the Sink. The plan is to host a few super casual chats where we talk anything and everything about music industry, the DJ trends, labels, festivals, parties, whatever. So apart from us taking questions, asking questions with our guests today, we also are taking questions from you guys out. So let us know what you think if you need any questions from Shadi and Madhu. Going forward, yeah. So hi guys, our two guests for today, Shadi, Madhu. Shadi, if you're living in the UAE, there's not much introduction that you need to give. The guy has been around for what, 20 years odd in the business.
Something like that.
DJing, producing, and now owns Flipside, which is the only record store, and correct me if I'm wrong, in the Middle East.
The Gulf, check. Is this thing on? Can you turn this up a little bit? Check. Middle East, yeah, maybe Middle East.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some in Lebanon. I'd say in the Gulf.
In the Gulf.
Because so the Middle East is pretty big. So.
Yeah, the only record store in the Gulf, which is amazing. So I know we're going to get into a bit about Record Store Day later, but...
Take your time, brother. Take your time.
Our second guest, Madhu, really good friend of mine. I know him for now, 25 years? Give or take. Yeah. I still remember him bringing me my first techno record back in 97, 98, something like that. 97, 98. Ever since then, he's been collecting records. He's been into the culture of record stores, DJs who playing only records. So we have two perspectives today. One from a person who's running a record store, DJ, and everything into the culture. No. I know. Of course, you collect records. Of course, you collect records. I'm just saying the perspective that we're going in from today is more from a store owner kind of point of view, and a person who's into the culture and who would visit the store. So we got. So welcome guys, thanks for doing this, and let's get into it. I just thought Shadi, let everybody know about Flipside, where you are, how did it come about, and everything. So
alright, the Flipside is in Absarkal Avenue in Al Quoz. I think a lot of you have been there and a lot of people haven't been there. How it came about, I guess, addiction, necessity. Necessity is the mother of invention. I just wanted to buy records. That's it. I had nowhere to buy records, so I had to open a shop so I can buy records. That's really, it wasn't like a business opportunity or anything.
So are you your own biggest customer?
100%. 100%.
So everything you order, one copy goes to you? Yeah?
Not everything. We get so much. Yeah. It's very hard, actually, because there's so much I have to let go.
Yeah.
Because I also order the records. So so everything that's in the shop, I love.
Yeah.
But then I can't buy everything in the shop.
True.
So in the beginning, it was worse. I was like panicking. Like, I need this, I need that.
Yeah.
But then you become a business owner and not just a crackhead. So I kind of found the balance.
Fine balance.
Yeah. So if I really need something, I'll put it in the back. But if it's the last copy, if we sell the last copy and I'm not sure, I'll just put it back.
Yeah. And just to get in a little more about, so what all genres do you stock? I mean, is there any particular, or is, like you said, everything you like?
Well, that's the thing. So it's not just things I like, because it's music that I think is great music. That
people need to hear.
That everyone. So we try to cover as many genres as possible.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you also have to supply people what they want.
True.
So there's a fine line, you know what I mean? I haven't sold any Beatles records, any Rolling Stones records, not one. It just feels like too easy, too predictable, you know? And Virgin sells records.
True.
So I don't want to sell something that you would be able to find in Virgin too. Because there's only 2 of us that do this.
Yeah.
And now a few more.
Yeah.
I heard Spinny's now has a
a record store section.
Yeah, you know, makes sense next to the cucumbers. You know, you might want to. I thought, yeah, maybe I should start a fruit section in the record shop too. But there's some things where, and the problem is, sometimes people take it the wrong way.
Yeah.
So when they come in and they want Rolling Stones or Beatles, I tell them, sorry, we don't stock that, but you can go to Virgin.
Yeah.
They get insulted in a way. Like I came all the way to your shop and you're sending me. Actually, I'm trying to do you a favor.
Yeah.
You know, we could have just not told them anything.
Yeah.
So it's tricky to try to keep a vision and you know, curate in the shop,
True.
but also when you deal in retail, you know that it's a whole different beast.
Of course.
Which I had no idea until I did it.
Yeah.
One day you go from music lover to business owner in 24 hours. It's a fucking scary thing, man.
And I'm actually going to get into that a little more in detail a little later. Because
sure.
I know what you went through, or rather, I kind of, you know, we've been talking, and then I know what all you've gone through to put up something like this together.
Right.
So we'll get into that a little later, though.
Sorry if I got carried away.
No, absolutely. In fact, I want to get into that because I want people to know, you know, in this what do you say, in this side of the world, how it is versus anywhere else in Europe. Opening a record store, it's so much different, and people need to know this. And in spite of all that, you've put it together. So
definitely
awesome.
Thank you, man.
Awesome. Madhu, tell us a little how you got into this culture, why you got into this culture, and how's it been? How's the whole journey been for you?
The journey is still not complete.
True.
So far, it's been great. How did I get into it? Well, I was always fascinated. My dad had an old pair of turntables lying at home. Not a pair, he had one. Right? So he had it. There were a few records. I still have some vivid memories from my childhood of those. But then again, my dad probably moved along the times, and then one day I just saw tapes lying around the house, and there were no more records around, you know. And then I realized that he had already gotten rid of his old record equipment, right? All the records and the equipment and everything. So I almost kind of forgot about it. And then musically, my tastes were completely different at that point in time. It had shifted away, and I wasn't even looking at records as a medium of...
I mean, you still are into a lot of rock and techno.
Yes. The thing is...
do you collect any rock records?
Yes, I do.
Awesome.
The one thing that my dad did was he did have a few pieces lying around at home. Some of those classic old first pressings. So I'm so glad that those didn't go too far. Right? It's found its way back into my crate now, which is great. But the thing is,
Can you give us some? I mean, do you remember any of those names?
The most recent one that I managed to pull out was when Uriah Heep's concert happened in Dubai. I managed to take the first pressing of a Uriah Heep record, which my dad had.
Wow.
So I went and surprised the guys from Uriah Heep with it and took the autograph on it. Yeah.
Are they worth a lot now? I mean, did you manage to check?
I'm sure it is worth a lot.
Nice.
Well, the thing is, I haven't really put a monetary value on it. I'm sure it's worth a lot more now that I have the autographs on it.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah, the band has gone through so many changes. There was only one guy from the beginning who was there. But I managed to take the autographs of all the other guys that were part of the band. Wow. Yeah, they've never seen this record. They were not around when this record was first made, right? So they were probably in the diapers when this record was made because the band's it's gone through some 18 or 20 different lineups so far. So that is the background. So the thing is, I was anti-electronic music and I was constantly listening only to anything that involved live instruments. By that I mean predominantly basic rock setup, which has your bass, lead and drums and everything, because I felt there was no creativity in anything that was made out of electronic music.
When did that change?
That changed one day. I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about it. Well, the thing is, my dad also had some tapes and records of Kraftwerk lying at home, right? So the repetitive music coming out of Kraftwerk's productions from the early days, I found it a little bit interesting, but I was never really attracted towards it. Because my interest at that point in time was all about rock music and heavy metal and all of that. As I was growing, teenager and everything, obviously the interests were completely different. And then I had a chance to... there was a chance meeting with one of my colleagues from work. So this happened, I think, in 98 or 99, if I'm not mistaken. When,
it's Lufthansa, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
So when I met a good friend of mine who's been an avid techno fan and a DJ for many years, so we just got down to chatting about music and everything. I kind of started relating to electronic music at that stage, but then when I took when he gave me one of his demo tapes and I heard it, I said, "What the hell is this all about now?" Because what he called techno at that point in time was completely different from all the bubblegum pop that
we were listening
that
to.
we thought was techno music, right? So this is what 7-8 years after this huge explosion of music into the German and the American scene, I guess. So that's what got me a bit curious. And then the most significant change happened probably on that one night when I went out with him. And it had to be the best party to make a mark on your life, right? I saw Sven play 11 hours straight. Just on records. Yeah, that's it, yeah. And there you go, 20 years later.
You're still collecting records, you're still into everything.
That's what started it. I know, right? Yeah. Which rock band plays for 11 hours, right? Yeah.
1 hour.
Absolutely, yeah. And then the whole thing of him playing 11 hours only on records, I was like, what kind of music exists on records anymore? Okay, at that point in time, I've seen Adam and other people play in clubs and stuff like that, but that was not the kind of music that I was attracted towards anyway. So I was thinking, what the hell's going on here, you know? I mean, who still makes music on records? And then when I started looking into it a little bit more, that's when I realized, oh my goodness, what the hell have I uncovered now? You know? And that started it, yeah. And then came the first turntable, which was just an excuse to basically buy a couple of records and play it because my dad sold the old turntable. And then came the second one, and then a mixer came in, and then the rest is history, right?
Boom,
yeah,
party. So I still remember back in the day, he had the only setup of turntables and a Westax, right? Westax scratch mix. Was it a scratch mixer? Yeah,
Westax,
amazing. Amazing. And
it was not a battle mixer. It was a Westax PMC 275. I still remember that very clearly, and it had kill switches as well on the side.
Yeah. Amazing. And I used to do so when I came to Dubai. My whole demo, I carried one demo CD that I wanted to give out to promoters and venues. Was a mix I made out of his turntables and Westax mix. I still have that mix, by the way.
And I still have the mixer at home. Yeah, it's a little bit rough. It probably needs to go through a little bit of a service. But in the way Westax made mixers back in the days, I think one service and it'll be brand
perfect.
new.
Yeah.
I kept it because it's got so many fond memories. I still cherish every single record that was, bought, because at that time the record collection was not too big, right? Records were expensive and the affordability was not that great either.
They were expensive, it's that you couldn't afford it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. So every one of those records, basically, I still cherish, and I remember how exactly I struggled with that Westax mixer back in the days, and it was great. I still have it, and I hope to pull it out one of these days and get it serviced.
Awesome.
Should have brought it today.
just for old time's sake. Awesome, Shadi. So let's get into now let's get into a little bit something serious. How, what did you go through to put something up like this? The flip side. I mean, I know it's been on paper for 2 years.
1 year, actually.
One
I
year.
mean,
One
well,
year.
you see, it's all very cloudy because my 3-year lease ends in February 1st. So so I already have to go renew my lease, but I haven't even been open for a year. So it's if you want to look at it in timing, like for me, the day we open the shop, that's when it starts. you
Sure,
know? Everything
sure.
else is
Sure. No,
Not-
what I wanted to get into is the main thing is I wanted to get into why did it take so long? Because you had a lot of hurdles to cross in this part of the world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
okay. It's an amalgamation of things. It's not really just one thing because I wish it was that easy to explain. But I'll do my best to explain it. First, there is the obvious channels that you have to go through to set
Sure.
up a business, and every business goes through the same process. You know, you sign the lease, you go to Ministry of Interior, depending on your activities. For me, I also had to go to the Ministry of Information because there's media involved. So
Sorry, just to cut you off. Is there an activity for a record shop, or is that something that
no,
took
there
some
isn't
time?
still.
Oh, okay.
There isn't still. Yeah, but I mean, it's very frustrating because the closest thing to it is not even close to it. So that was a very frustrating thing for me. I didn't want to get a license for something that I know I'm not doing.
Yeah, sure,
and I
sure.
think from memory the closest thing was like selling refrigerators and blank cassettes. Like that was in the same activity,
Wow.
Like it would make sense, And I was like, this is what I have to work with. I'm not selling fridges. So we kind of had to. There was a whole. I mean, like that's a whole show.
No,
to-
sure.
So I guess like we should skip that part. We should skip that part. And also, it was just terrible. But why it took longer is because I wanted to do it myself.
Okay.
There are people that you pay to do this.
Okay.
Like PROs and stuff.
Okay.
And I could have, but
But you
I
just
wanted
decided
to
to
do it because I have to know for myself.
How this works?
If the authorities come and they ask me anything about the license, I have to know. I can't be like, oh, hold on, let me just call my PRO and so that made it take a little bit longer, but I felt if I was gonna open a business, I had to know every nut and bolt and the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that was a personal choice. It could have taken a lot less, but I just really wanted to know, because in the end I'm signing
Sure.
on
Sure.
these.
Sure.
So
sure.
if I'm gonna sign, I need to know every single thing that I'm,
Yeah.
signing for. So that's why it took a little bit longer. And then the contractor. And then the contractor is a friend of my father's who is an architect. So that took even longer.
Okay.
So that's kind of the problem with dealing with friends, or because it's kind of like it's a better price,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it goes down on the list of priorities of projects that they have.
Yeah.
So they the inshallah rating is off the charts. I mean, it's nowhere near the charts. You know what I mean? Like, so you definitely want to keep your inshallah ratings as low as possible. Preferably not even deal with them. So worth it in the end, yeah, of course, it's always worth it, but it just added so much pressure because when we started, we were already catching up. We didn't start from zero. Like when you start a race and you start at the first, when we opened the door, we were already like 2 years in rent, so that is insane amount of pressure, especially on someone who's never run a business before. I'm a music lover, and I was a music lover the day we opened. The next day, our first actual working day as a business, it hit me like a ton of bricks.
So, I mean, my next question is, how is it being a person who loves records and who does this because as a passion, and now it's a business. How are you able to balance this?
It affects your relationship with record. It actually changed my entire life, you know, because I'm there, you know, from we open 12 to 9. I wake up at 9 a.m. to 9:30, and I'm already working. I'm listening to sample because all my distributors are abroad.
Yeah.
So even when I get home at 12 a.m., you know, if I'm home, I get home sometimes earlier, but the work doesn't stop.
Yeah.
You know, because they're just waking up and they're replying. They're starting their day.
Yeah.
And if I don't reply to this email at 1 a.m. and I go to sleep, we've delayed it now. Like the records will arrive a day later.
Yeah.
So it's a never-ending thing, you know.
Yeah.
But it definitely changes your everything. You know, I used to be able to go out, and now the last thing I want to do when I get home, I just want to hear nothing. You know, I do music 12 hours a day, whereas, you know, for most people, that's the fun part of their life. You know, and the last thing you want to do is go to a party and listen to music and talk about music. You know, it's my job, man. I've just done this for 12 hours, you know. I just want to sit somewhere, have a beer, like probably even by myself or with my girlfriend, you know. And that might even be too much socialization. So it changes everything, really.
Yeah.
And the music thing, you know, I also discovered so much music that was never on my radar as a DJ. African music, soul music, ambient music. I was known as a DJ, you know, that's what I did. Now everyone talks to me like Shadi the entrepreneur. I'm like, wait, what? What are you talking? I've only been an entrepreneur for 1 year. I've been a DJ for like over 20 years. You know, in the press, they want to talk about Shadi the businessman. I'm like, no, we don't want to talk about that. Like, what about my label? What about like what I did, the release I just put out, you know? So it really changes the way you see yours. It changes everything, really.
Sure.
It's like going from T-boy to manager. Like, you're now a different person. It's not just what's on the card. People treat you differently. You treat yourself differently.
Right.
But I've just been collecting all kinds of music, and I've got less and less gigs. Maybe because of that, or also, you know, to get gigs, even in a small town, you have to go out.
True.
You have to socialize. You have to be part of a scene, you know. I think I'm as much part of it as anyone, but to everyone else, I'm not.
And that's a whole different show.
If you're not there, if they don't see you, you're not there.
That's a whole different show.
You might as well be dead.
Yeah,
you
we'll
know
have
that.
you back. We'll have you back for that again. That's a whole different show.
You know, you know
we
that.
can talk about it for hours.
You know that. Sadly, it's not about. You don't get booked on merit. Sadly, you know.
It's who you know. Where
who you know, what you do, which shot you bought for this guy, and it's a whole. So that really turned me off of the whole dance music thing.
Yeah.
I love music, but you know, but I go home and I listen to records. There's no point for me to buy techno. There's no point for me to buy house music if I'm gonna go home and just chill. So I've been buying so much more everything else, you know. But like you said, it's a whole nother show.
Yeah,
this is a whole nother topic.
A whole nother topic. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
but it really like kind of messes with your head.
For sure, man. I know how it is, and it's something that even I've come to a point where I'm like, yeah. I mean, people, they know who we are, and if now they want to book us, they book us, and I can't do anything more than this, right?
We think it's obvious, you know.
No, but
we think it's obvious.
I mean, but there's nothing else we can do. Like you said, now I'm just going to go and have a drink, and
I
that's
would
it.
still much rather get booked on merit.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you have to be a promoter.
Yeah.
That's it.
How many people can you pull? Who you pulling?
You book someone from another town, and then they book you back. This is how it is. This is how it is. Obviously, not when you're established. Like Ricardo Villalobos doesn't have to be a promoter, you know. But like on, it would be good. It would be good, definitely, you know. But it's kind of like for people on our level, it's kind of a trap in a way, you know. So you can't, because you're not a beginner, you're not an amateur, and you're not a world touring. You're kind of in purgatory, you know what I mean? It's like, so it's not heaven or hell. You're just kind of like at gate C, you know, in the airport, and you're just kind of waiting. So I still choose to get booked on merit, you know. I don't do the whole marketing and promoting thing, like. That's it. It's just not my personality.
I mean, even it's come to a point where even there's nothing. I don't know what to do anything. You know,
what
else?
That's
it. Now just
How many more podcasts can we do? Seriously, man, come on. Dude, like,
actually, going back to something that you had brought up, I'm just gonna go back onto the whole records thing, and you said that records are expensive or not, but it's also because we didn't have the spending power. But with we have a lot of youngsters who watch our show, and they constantly ask, tips and tricks and what to do. So with vinyls as well, I mean, I know it's expensive for the younger ones to be paying for that. So what would you tell them to, how to sort of collect, or if they're gonna spend so much on a record, how many times do they listen to it, or I mean, because you guys collect, and you know how difficult it is to pick them up, and at least now that we have a local store, we can pick it up. Otherwise, you have to order them, you have to wait for them, So what would you tell the young guys how to sort of collect, pick up?
Just one word: hustle. It's as simple as that, right? Yeah. When I started smoking, did I have enough money in my pockets for a pack of cigarettes? No, but I had to find my way, right? And it is the exact same thing, right? When I started buying records, back then a record cost 20 Deutschmarks, right? I mean, that was the only market I had access to, right? 20 marks is the equivalent of 10 euros today. And it was at that point in time, and it still is pretty much, right? And records have pretty much stayed around that price range, give or take plus or minus 10-20%, right? But maybe the affordability is a little bit better today as compared to what it was when I first started buying records. But Sorry? But there was no digital music when I was buying records.
No,
there was only downloads on Napster, which was, So the thing is, if that's what's there in front of you, and if it only makes your choice better, I feel. Because the thing is, if you know that you walk into a record store, yes, you're always going to exceed your budget, right? You're going to keep digging and never go to a record store after you've been to a good party because everything sounds good, right? That's the biggest thing you don't do, right? Yeah. So you buy some records which you're thinking, what the hell was I thinking when I bought this one? Oh yeah, I went there right after the party, right? So that's why.
There's no whole bin, right?
Yeah. There's no whole bin. So you just go and buy. And the thing is, at some stage you got to wake up and realize, oh great, maybe I'm pushing my budget a little too much, or maybe I don't have the money anymore, right? You don't think about budgets when you're buying, right? So you start to cherry pick and choose, and then you chase that one elusive record, you wait for that record, or you go and, when there is a huge LP, I would say 45 marks or something, instead of paying 20 marks for a record, or a double LP or something like that. You think about it, and then somehow you find your way, right? Maybe you didn't have a meal, I don't know. You probably skipped a meal, I don't know what you did, right? But the thing is, I'm sure everyone does it, right? If every one of us were to just go based on the pocket money that we got before we started making our own money, right? I don't think we would have managed to do half the things we did in our lives, right? But somehow money seems to stretch, right? Your budget stretch. And what can I tell the youngsters? Am I not part of them?
No, in fact,
Keep on holding on to that dream.
As far as the youngsters are concerned, it's quite straightforward, right? The thing is, I'm sure they are...
Labels, because that's what the mindset is, big labels, great track.
You gotta find your own, yeah. Absolutely.
So I guess what we're telling the youngsters that save up, figure out, get your record.
Don't save up, just hustle. You will find your way.
Hustle, yeah.
If it's your passion that you chase, well, see, you can't just go and buy records when you don't have turntables. Now, I know a couple of people that own records without turntables, basically, right? That's another story altogether.
Stop pointing at people.
No. But what I'm trying to get at is, if you don't want to say DJ, if you just want to be someone who likes to listen to that music on the medium. Yeah, okay.
in the shop.
But the thing is, they can deal with. I mean, they can buy a basic turntable. They can buy a basic turntable to start listening to the music, basically, right? But the thing is,
You don't.
absolutely
That's what
not.
I'm saying.
No,
You
absolutely
don't.
not. Yeah.
Our shop does not survive on DJs. If it did, who? Which DJs are we talking about? Because even it's like I can count them on one finger. You know, I mean, okay, maybe 3 or 4 or 5, 6. You know, but you can't.
Yeah.
But it's really, well, I think now vinyl has become more accessible to. It's no longer a DJ thing. At least here, you know, no one. And you can also blame all the venues for that, because there's nowhere that you can find working turntables, apart from Analog Room and the Flip Side and the few others, like Groove on the Grass. Groove on the Grass is not a venue. It becomes a venue, and then it becomes a golf course. So that would also help, you know, if more venues have turntables. Like Barbary, that's another place. The setup could be better, but you can't blame them. That you can still go and play records, you know. So I think that also needs to happen. So you can't convince them, really. They have to want to do it or see that it's relevant. Everyone wants everything to do with the records, but they don't want to have anything to do with the records. So this is how it works. We get so many people, so many new venues coming into the record shop telling me, yeah, we're looking for used records. We're going to use them for decoration. Do you know how that makes me feel after busting my ass for 3 years to give people a chance to buy records to listen to?
Shadi, I got some old records that I picked up the day after the party. I'm looking for someone to sell it to. The next time someone approaches you.
I'll get him in touch with you. Because my response was, you're fucking crazy. Why would you do that? And if you want to do that, don't tell me you want to do that. It's a record shop. Come in, buy your records for the cheap ones. And when they're yours and you leave the door, they're yours. They're not my, you know, I'm not here to like save like the orphan records or anything. You know what I mean? It just breaks my heart. And at first I was completely against it, and I am against it still. You know, but the way I see it is, if you want to be about the culture, then be about the culture. Don't just put it on your wall. What you should do is put some turntables in your booth and invite DJs that play records. That's it. But if you just want it to look like you play records, why would you put records on the wall? Why just go to Desco and print out a wallpaper? You know what I mean? I don't see why you would have to do that. And the sad thing is that some of these venues you go to, some good records on the wall glued to the wall, you know? It breaks my heart. At first I'm still against it, but as a record shop owner, I cannot think about that. That's where it's hard to you have to separate the music lover and the business owner, because as a business owner, you want to sell as many records as you want. You know, it breaks my heart, but doesn't. Yeah, we have to pay rent. You know what I mean? So that's really the hardest thing. Now I tell them, I hope you buy the most expensive records. At least, you know, if you're gonna put records on the wall, I hope that we, you know, which completely goes against my morals, you know. But you have to separate the passion. That's the hardest thing about my job. When you do something you love and it's your job, it's hard, man. It's a nightmare. It's very hard. And making decisions all the time like that, damn, it's hard.
While you have the mic, I know Records Day is tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, and I know you're doing something awesome at the store, which you can talk about. And of course, give us your thoughts on Records Store Day.
Wow.
Because I know when I first came to invite you over to
Can
the
we
show.
give our friend Madhu a question first? 'Cause like, We need to, because man, okay, you just opened a can of worms. So Madhu, records. Tell us about some of your favorite records.
Favorite records, or you just want to know about Record Store Day?
No, he's going to
I'm
get
a-
to that before.
Oh.
So he just wants to.
I'm asking you now.
Give me some airtime. That's what it is.
I'm asking you now, my man.
Favorite
Or just
records?
ones that really stick in your mind, or like a particular one. Because I love it when someone asks me that. Yes, exactly.
If I carry 3 records with me, and my favorite ones, one would definitely be Boards of Canada, Amo Bishop Rodden.
Which one?
Amo Bishop Rodden.
Oh man. I mean, they're all. It's like I'm a sucker for Boards of Canada, and especially the ones you can't pronounce. Like they're usually. That's
So that's
usually
one that would definitely come on top. I would definitely carry my very first record which I bought, which is Sun People, Check Your Buddha. Third one, I think I'll need some time to dig through the crates.
all right.
These two right on top, I can tell you straight away. I'll have to look.
First thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning?
Yeah.
First thing in the morning? No, I don't think I would want to go right next to the record table. Plays at that point in time, no, because the thing is, no, that's a hard one.
How about the last record you listened to?
The last record that I listened to was, I can tell you the last record I listened to before I came here was Frank Lober's Obscure in the Clouds.
Play it later.
That was a perfect morning track for me. The thing is, it was something that when I was packing my records this morning, I just saw that one lying out there in the corner, and my son was all over the place. So I had to carry him in my hand because he was throwing a tantrum. So to silence him, I had to turn on some music, and I just went and picked up that one. Yeah. I picked up that one. I was looking for something to get his attention, so I got this one. I put it out, and magically he stopped crying.
Thank you, Frank Lorber.
Thank you, Frank.
The check's in the mail, brother.
And it was nowhere among my top records. But if I have to resonate with one record the way I felt about it at an emotional level today, it had to be that one.
So no need for a nanny anymore, I guess.
Frank Lobo would
Just
do it.
call Frank.
Check. Okay, so you want to get into the records? No. Yeah, because I mean that's pretty much after that we are going to wrap up.
I don't know if you want to take any questions.
Yeah, is there any questions? So we can take any questions.
I'll just check if there are any questions from online.
Okay.
Can I have
We're almost done. I mean, the last thing is you can keep it brief and just your thoughts on Record Store. Yeah, Record Store Day, and then we get into some music.
Well, I guess it's inevitable. So here we are. Let's start with I'll start with the Record Store Day, and then I'll end it with what we're doing tomorrow. Well, they can see what I'm doing today. I hope so. If you're tuned in, hello Facebook, I see you. All right. Well, Record Store Day, man. That's I'm also torn on that. It's become something else, I think. So when it started, I'm not sure when. I think it was 2007. 2007 it started. Well, everything kind of changes. And it became more popular, but shit, I'll just get to it, I guess. I mean, there's no way to avoid this. But I'll tell you why I don't like it. I don't like it because there's a lot of major labels that realize that they can make a lot of money off this, which is fine. I have nothing against it. Like, business is business. That's the whole point of business, I guess. But what I don't like about that is that a lot of smaller labels, independent labels, the ones that kept vinyl alive when the major labels turned their back on them, those labels cannot press records at that time, because when major labels press records. They press a lot, 10,000, 5,000, whatever. It's a lot of records. Whereas labels who press 300, they can't get into the rotation, and pressing plants, they're limited. Still, as much as vinyl is popular, there is still a limited number of working pressing plants. So who do you think the pressing plants are going to go for? They're going to go for the big quantities because they have to survive too. They're a business as well. So that's kind of my problem with it. And I guess the major label's just calling in right now. So that's EMI is on the phone. I guess they heard what I said. That's the thing, man. Major labels, you can't say a goddamn thing without the... Anyway, so tell Sony I'm busy. So that's it, really. That's what it comes down to. And another thing I don't really like is that it's become very gimmicky. So like lots of like stuff that really doesn't need to be pressed on vinyl, just for the sake of, they know people are gonna buy it, so they do it. And the whole colored vinyl and the picture discs, and it's kind of, yes, it's vinyl, but it's like the Mickey Mouse side of things. Like nothing against Mickey Mouse or Disney, but it's just kind of become all gimmicky, and so it's about substance, really. So it's good and bad. Like everything has good and bad. This is why I personally dislike it a little bit, and it's also, you have to apply to be an official member of Record Store Day. You have to apply and explain. So it feels kind of corporate. It doesn't feel like, I don't know, as an independent record shop, I'm going to celebrate Record Store Day, but I'm sorry, I'm not going to apply to your recordstoreday.com. I fit all of the things that you need to fit. I kind of get that, that you need to be an independent record shop, not like Virgin. Nothing against Virgin. Again, they sell t-shirts and mugs and phones and all of that stuff, but they are still not a record store. Just because you sell records doesn't make you a record store. But, so that's kind of how I feel about it. So I didn't really fill anything out, but I don't see why I shouldn't celebrate Record Store Day. So that's my take on it. As a collector, it's a little different. Some of these releases might be cool, and I would like to have some of these, depending on the music and everything. Mostly, it's not really my thing. And it's kind of like Black Friday for shopping in the US. Like people kind of go. So I don't know. I think like for me, Record Store Day, that's every single day, man. This is my life. This is what I do every single day. So just like Valentine's Day, if you're with your lover, you gotta love them every single day, And Mother's Day and Father's Day and all of this stuff, like you either love it or you don't. There's no like. That's just how I feel, and that's just kind of how I do it,
And what are your plans for tomorrow?
Right, the good part.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're celebrating with a 5-hour. It's all right. 5-hour in store with myself, Murder Maz. That's Ahmed from Anthology, Esaride, Danilo, and who else? Cyril, of course, and man, I need to look at the flyer.
Nice.
5 of us.
Nice. And
Who
what time
else?
what time do you start?
2 to 7.
7 is open to people, everybody, or is just
Yeah,
something
no,
that's
the shop is open from 12 to 9.
Yeah, okay.
And we're feeling very generous, so we're giving people turntables at 100 dirhams cheaper.
Okay, nice.
Which is kind of nice, because I think it's better for people to spend their money on records rather than a turntable.
Yeah.
And also, if every 2 records that you buy, you get 1 used 7-inch record for free.
Nice.
So you buy 4 records, you get 2, and so on. You can do the math.
Nice.
Which is, sometimes just gotta give, man. You gotta give back. That's the business part that I'm not very good at, because we still are having a hard time paying the rent. But you can't just keep on taking, you know what I mean? Like, you really have to. That's why I really wish I had a partner. I don't. So I wish I could just do the music, someone can do the business. But I kind of have to do both. Yeah, hi Facebook, come on down tomorrow.
Okay, thanks a lot, man. I mean, I went to the store the other day, and I must tell you, it smells great.
Was it the incense or the chocolate?
No, the chocolate from the next
chocolate.
door. Man, records and chocolate, most amazing combo.
You know,
Yeah.
Adam, I don't smell it anymore, man. When you're there every day, I'm completely immune to it. Everyone comes in. Some people hate it, actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Some
I
people hate
loved it. I mean,
Yeah. No, we don't. No, we don't.
and like Madhavan said,
And
you don't want to spend.
Speaking about the chocolate, Mirzam next door, we're doing a collaboration actually.
Oh.
Since we're already collaborating in airspace and scents flowing through, we thought we might as well do a real collaboration.
Perfect,
So
perfect.
I've put together a mixtape of music from all of the countries that they get their beans from.
Oh wow, nice.
So I put together this mixtape, and we've made a track actually especially for that mixtape. And it's only 50 bars, but they're gonna make chocolate bars in a cassette tape mold.
Oh wow.
So
nice.
you're gonna get a tape chocolate bar, and with that you're gonna get the download link to this mixtape that I did.
Nice.
So there's
nice.
50 of them. Hopefully, I think next month, I think
Nice.
that will happen.
Nice. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
So yeah, another dream come true. Having your own chocolate bar, you understand how cool that is? I mean, yeah, that's super cool, I think.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. I mean, do you have anything to ask, Shadi? Or do you have anything to
I
ask?
think it'd be fun. Yeah, I mean, listen, man, we're here next to each other. It's Friday. It's a beautiful day. And we're gonna play some music soon, right?
That's what we're going to do next, right? Yeah. And that is pretty much everything that we need to ask each other, right?
Exactly. So what's the plan? What do you want to play? Like anything particular? Like what do you... I mean, for me, this is the best part.
Yeah. Well, I don't have the top 3 records that I spoke about with me. Yeah. But the thing is, I may have one of those. Well, see, the thing is, what I've done is, I do have... See, the thing is, when I wanted to... when Adam told me about this day, when we all going to be playing on records, I was thinking, should I make it only about those special records that I listen to? Or do I completely ignore all the great new music that has inspired me lately? So I decided to do a little bit of both. So I got a few tracks that have inspired me over the years, basically, just about 2 or 3 of them. But pretty much everything else is basically what I'm listening to at this point in time. You know, so because the thing is, when you stop buying records, then you got to just keep digging back and just restrict yourself to over the years. And that's good news, right? From an owner's perspective, basically, yeah, people are still buying records, right? Yeah. For sure. So obviously I want to do justice to it, and I've kept it a little bit diverse, and pretty much the sounds that I'm into right now is pretty much what I got in mind.
Amazing. Yeah. I think I'm gonna do the same actually. Just all the stuff that I don't know if I could get away with playing in a nightclub in Dubai. Even though we're gonna be playing some of that stuff for the anniversary party, which we didn't talk about. First year anniversary party collaboration with Analog Room, May 3rd, with my friend Hani. And it's your birthday. Damn. Yeah, we're gonna celebrate for sure. So that's gonna be fun. It's crazy, it's been a year, but yeah, let's just play some music.
Thanks a lot, and thank you. All the best for your 1-year anniversary. All the best for tomorrow's show. And yeah, guys, thanks. I hope you had fun. We'll be back with some music. Ciao.